Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the Fizik Vega Carbon road cycling shoes. The Fizik Vega Carbon shoes are Fizik's new top-of-the-line road cycling shoes that tout an innovative and reactive design optimized for speed and comfort. These shoes feature an updated last design with a wider toe box, an integrated outsole design that reduces stack height without reducing stiffness. Packaging wise, you can see we actually got this from BOA, so we have the BOA box, the more generic branding on there, and basic BOA information on there. So I'll go ahead and open this up. We'll go over the specs. As the top line shoes, the retail price is $470, so one of the most expensive shoes they have. You get a dual BOA Li2 fit system, so top of line with micro tightening and loosening. You get their new integrated outsole, so full carbon fiber outsole that's hidden underneath the knit upper. And this is actually their Aeroweave Pro. So it combines this really lightweight and thin material that gives you stiffness exactly where you need it. The other cool feature about these shoes, you get this almost like neoprene-like material for this inner booty. They call this Aeroprene. And you can see it's a sock-like material on the inside that eliminates the traditional tongue. These are 3-bolt compatible, so you can use this with the Look SPD SL or the Look Keo cleats. As far as what comes with them, you can see you basically get the shoes, this little protective sticker that they want you to leave on until you actually are sure it's the right size. Then you can see we have the other shoe, as well as their basic instruction manual. Now let's take a look at the weight of the shoes. These are a Euro 43.5. So if I put the left shoe on the scale, it's really lightweight at 269. If we do the right side, you can see identical at 269. Visually, the Fizik Vega Carbon have a knit-like appearance with a very soft upper material and almost one-piece construction. You can see it has this nice diamond-like pattern on the exterior that combines their Aeroweave Pro with a translucent mesh where you want additional ventilation. It's harder to tell with this full black color, but you can see you have the thicker material along the straps and going all the way around, and then this more matte appearance along the edges of the upper material to prevent any fraying, and again provide a little additional strength where all the closure pieces attach. These shoes are actually offered in 3 different colors. You have full white, a black version, which is what we have here, and then white fluoro. The white fluoro actually has the Movistar color, so it's a dark navy along this upper accent pieces, and then the fluorescent green along the straps, then with a white body. The black one is probably a more sleek version, very easy to keep clean, and you have this nice gold lettering, so Fizik on the back, and even the BOA is in gold. So it's a nice combination that looks really sleek and should be a lot easier to clean than the white versions. The other cool thing about these shoes is you have this neoprene inner material. They actually call it Aeroprene. And you can see it's this really soft material. Eliminates the need for a traditional tongue. So you still have the center cutout, but you almost have like an inner sock built directly into the shoe, which might make it hard to put on and take off, but more comfort. You don't have that thin tongue that'll push into your ankle, especially on longer rides. So it's a nice feature. And then you can see as far as the closure system, you have a dual BOA Li2 dial system, which is what you expect at this higher price point. You have micro tightening and loosening, depending on which direction you rotate the dial. Then if you pull up, it's a full release, which will easily take the shoe on and off. And then you can really see that inner sock structure. You can see there's 3 rows of cable routing, and the cable itself, you can see it's a gray color. So it has a nice little contrast. The bottom dial controls the toe box region, which is actually wider with these shoes. So unlike previous Fizik shoes, which might have been more narrow, they've actually made this a little bit more ergonomic and wide. And then the top one you can see is just a little elastic strap that's actually sewn into the body. If I take a light, then you can really see how translucent this is. So you have this translucent mesh, so nice ventilation. And that actually eliminates the need for a bottom vent. So you'll notice that there's no vents on the bottom, but you have these big translucent regions and then additional venting between these strap sections. So it's really obvious, especially with the light. If we look at the outsole here, again, so it's a full carbon outsole, but you can't actually see anything. So it's more similar to the Shimano S-PHYRE. The upper material actually wraps over it. So you can see the carbon fiber material is actually hidden underneath here. And then you have this little protective cover around it. And the only carbon fiber you really see is where the cleats attach. You have two removable heel pads here. So each one of them is just bolted on, so you can replace them, which is always a nice feature. And on the front, you have a little toe guard that wraps around to help the shoes be more protected. It's a standard 3-bolt setup, and you can see really nice markings on here. So it's very easy to adjust 4.5 to get the right position. And then you have all these markings. It's kind of creative design with all the lines, so it makes it a little bit easier to line up. If we pull out the insoles, you can see really nice bright colors and print on there. Standard foam construction with the additional vents on the front and Fizik branding. You also have the metatarsal pad here, so you can see right here how it has a little bit of a rise to it. That's really common with the insoles. Gives you a little bit more comfortable and spreads your toes. You can see also there's a nice big region here, and that matches up with the cleat attachment section, so you won't actually feel it underneath your feet. And here's where you can actually see the sole. It's essentially underneath this little pad, this foam, you'd find the full carbon fiber. Now before you can get on the bike, you have to put the shoes on, which is a little bit more difficult with these. They have the inner booty, so you have to kind of shove your hand in there and push your foot forward and then kind of wiggle until you're in there. Compared to a standard tongue design like the Bont Riot that we're showing here, it's definitely a little bit more time consuming, and one downside to this design. Once you do get it on, the shoes are really comfortable. They just feel like you're wearing gloves. You don't feel big or bulky, no pressure points, and even without any break-in, they feel great from the first ride. The Fizik has actually done a really nice job with the updated anatomical shaping, so these have a nice wide toe box. So our Euro 43.5 Fizik feels a lot like a Shimano Euro 44. So nice and wide. We felt really comfortable even with our wider feet and our higher arches. These, again, just felt like they fit like a glove. They advertise a lower stack height, and although they don't show any numbers, it just felt like we were more in tune with the pedals. It felt thinner, and it still felt very stiff, so we could do climbing, sprinting, or even just taking it easy, and the shoes felt right at home. We also like the dual dial setup with the dual BOA Li2 Fit System. You can easily adjust the dials on the go. They have micro tightening and loosening, so it's really nice, especially as you do longer rides. You can do a little bit of loosening as your feet expand, and then tighten them up again when you do a little higher effort. We would have liked to see a couple more color options though with the shoes. You can see with the black one, it looks good, but it's a little bit understated. In the sun, there is a little bit of a reflective finish, and you see that with the other colors as well. But it would have been nice to see that coral orange and the other ones that Fizik offers. Otherwise, really solid shoe. Obviously, it's very expensive, but it's right up there. It's one of our favorite. It's right up there with the Shimano S-PHYRE, the DMT KR0, and even the Bont Cycling Vapor S that we usually wear. So a really solid shoe, and they've done some meaningful improvements with the fit design that we hope will trickle down to the more affordable options. Here we actually have the Fizik Vento, which were their previous top-of-the-line shoes. You can see very similar BOA Li2 dial system, but they've really deviated design. So with this one, it's a similar knitted upper, but it was a more thick material. So you can see a much thicker material, very cool pattern on there. And you can see same fabric structure, but with the newer Vega, you can see a lot more ventilation with the transparent sections on the sides versus the more solid design of this one. And you can see the strap design has been simplified. Instead of having a big strap that goes all the way through, it's much more integrated. So the strap is actually underneath the outer material, but you still have the 3 rows of cable guides. The other thing is the base. That's a really big change here. So instead of having the traditional outsole that's fully exposed, and you can see it really gets scratched up, especially with use, you really have a much more integrated design that's completely hidden underneath. This design is very similar to the Shimano S-PHYRE, so you can see with the S-PHYRE it's almost identical. It completely hides it, while the Fizik has a little bit of a cover piece, but you only really see the carbon on the attachment regions and gives you a much more stiff appearance. With the S-PHYRE, you get the more exposed heel cup, and this is the RC9 Power Edition, so single dial instead of the dual dials that the normal one has, but it has a very cool crystal finish around the heel cup and the front. You can see there's venting on the Shimano that you don't have on the Fizik, which is an interesting choice. I don't know why they didn't integrate at least a front one. But you can see same thin front pad. And this will get scratched up, so you can see with the S-PHYRE, it's definitely gotten a little bit of use. So it would have been nice if the front pad was a little bit thicker. But with both of them, you do get replaceable rear pads. You can see we also have the Fizik, the DMT KR0. So full knitted, and you can see much more flexible upper material versus the Fizik, which has a little bit more of a structure to it. So it's not really a full sock, just like the DMT KR0 is, but you get a little bit more structure, which is nice. Same dual BOA Li2 dials. Similar ventilation with this one's transparent meshes that are more concealed versus the perforations on the DMT. But you can see the Fizik has the more modern outsole that's really integrated, while the DMT has the more traditional outsole attached to the upper. And you can see with the Fizik, it's much more integrated. We also have the Giro Imperial shoe. So similar design, it's a sort of a upper knitted construction and with the transparent panels, while the Fizik is more of a knit, and this is more of a kind of solid construction. But otherwise, you can see same BOA dials. Cool thing about the Imperial is you get the alloy dials, so they're actually metal, but same Li2 design. And again, with the Imperial, it is a single exposed outsole versus the more integrated design. So the Fizik, it's really nice. New modern features, more ergonomic shape, and pretty sleek styling. Now let's go over the pros and cons for the Fizik Vega shoes. What I like about them is they're stiff and stable, so they feel great whether you're climbing or doing a sprint. And they also have a very attractive design with almost knit-like construction upper with built-in ventilation, so you stay cool and you look cool at the same time. It also has a nice integrated carbon sole, which helps reduce the stack height and gives it a much more natural feel. So these shoes feel really comfortable and more natural than the previous Fizik models. The main negatives with the shoe is the fact you do have limited colors, but it'd be nice to see more graphic options. And the inner booty makes it really hard to put the shoe on. It's very elastic, so you have to kind of shove your foot in compared to a more standard shoe with a tongue construction. Taking everything into account, we'd give these shoes a 9.6 out of 10. These are fast and comfortable shoes that have better fit and design than previous models. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at sweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at The Sweet Cyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.